Hey guys, so a week has now passed since I did my interview with Joe, who's actually in the background doing a little bit of stretches. As you guys might be aware, when it comes to any kind of fitness, you can't just rely on doing exercises and getting to, that body that you want. It ultimately as well comes down to the kind of foods that you're eating as well. So today I am actually joined by the lovely Teodora, who is, you're not just a personal trainer, you're also kind of like a nutritionist, or you do kind of consulting with nutrition.
Yeah, I basically do both. It started off just with doing nutrition with my clients, so now expanded to doing nutrition with other people's clients as well.
Okay, that's fantastic. So Teodora is going to be helping me as well with the 3-month program, and basically with the 11 weeks that I've got left, she's going to now help me with everything that I need to follow if I'm going to really kind of bulk up and carry on my sessions with Joe. So I guess to kind of get straight into things, what tends to be the biggest mistakes that a lot of people make when they're getting into fitness? They're like, oh, I want to get to this body, I want to either put on weight or I want to lose weight, and they don't tend to do anything about their nutrition.
Okay, well, there are two ways. Some people do read about nutrition, so they decided to change their plan. And usually what that leads to, without having the right information, is actually just going into extreme. So someone who wants to lose weight and going to be like, okay, I usually eat 2,000 calories a day. From now on, I'm going to eat 1,000 calories a day, and that's going to get me some weight loss, which is completely correct. It's going to give weight loss. I need to define that weight loss is different to fat loss, because it depends on how much muscle mass you lose on the way as well. However, calorie deficit in any situation will give you weight loss. How long that's going to last is a different question. However, a massive calorie deficit, which is of 1,000 calories a day, that's going to create muscle loss, and it's also going to create metabolic changes to the body, which are very negative, and health issues as well. So then someone who doesn't have that information of knowing exactly what they're gonna do are gonna have that for a certain period of time. Someone lasts for 2 weeks, someone lasts for 2 months, someone even lasts for a year. So they're gonna see a change for sure, then they're gonna stop. And with all the negative effect that has come with the massive calorie deficit, they're gonna, psychologically they're gonna probably start over binging.
Right, yeah.
Which happens with a lot of people. And secondary to that, because of the metabolic change that has happened to the body, which has dropped down massively, even eating something like 1,500 calories a day now might not help them maintain their weight loss. So there is a massive difference when it comes to also where the calories are coming from, because there are calories and calories. There is a calories from Snickers bar, and there's a calories from roasted chicken with sweet potatoes and broccoli, for example.
Yeah.
Just examples, but yeah. So what I'm looking into with the nutrition that I'm advising is not just creating a calorie deficit that is reasonable specifically for the person that I'm working with, but also where those calories are coming from.
Okay, now that's quite interesting, because one of the things that we were talking about before actually rolling the camera was kind of my actual current diet. So Teodora got me to download this app, which I definitely recommend to you guys, and it was called MyFitnessPal. I think it's not just on the Android, I think you can get it on iPhone as well.
Yeah, you can get it on pretty much any smartphone.
Yeah, so it's a pretty cool app, because basically what you can do is you can actually enter sort of the foods that you're eating, as well as you can actually scan barcodes on things. And one of the things that was fascinating, even what Teodora just said, is the amount of calories and stuff that people tend to eat a day. Now, as you guys know, I am a cameraman by trade, and the thing is, when I actually am working a lot in London, I don't really eat that much, if I'm honest. I find it very difficult to find the right kind of hours to fit in the right kind of meals. So when I actually had installed this app and I was entering the meals and stuff that I was eating a day, it was kind of interesting that when I was working from home, that it was quite easy to be kind of having what is considered, the men's daily allowance of calories, which is 2,500. So it was quite easy to kind of reach that. But on days that I was out and about at work, it was almost impossible. I think I wasn't getting anywhere near about 1,200 calories, which is quite atrocious, really, to sort of think that on days I'm at home, I'm eating a very high amount of food, and on days that I'm in London, I'm eating a ridiculously low amount. So I guess my next kind of question then would kind of lead on to, when you're how bad is that? Should it really be at least some kind of average between the two, if that kind of makes sense? Because I know if it's difficult for people to kind of eat, especially if they're working a lot, what kind of things should they really be considering, if they are working and they need to make sure that they have to maintain the right kind of diet?
Basically what I find usually with clients is they tend to, people tend to overeat in the evenings especially, and undereat during the day.
I was guilty of eating a lot of cakes and biscuits and stuff. That's for sure. That's why I have got a bit of a muffin top, in case anyone can kind of see that.
Yeah, well, body composition depends massively on the quality and quantity of food, so it depends on both. And by quality, I don't mean organic, non-organic. I mean where the calories are coming from. Are they coming from biscuits and cakes, or are they coming from natural vegetables and protein sources and meat and things like that? So that's gonna differ a lot on what your body composition is gonna look like, as well as obviously the training that you're doing. However, when you're doing even more training like you are now, the demand is even higher to have the proper nutrition.
Yeah.
You would be damaging your body by not getting about the amount of calories that you can fluctuate. The calories can fluctuate, and it's something we can talk about in the actual consultation, is how we can work things out where you plan in advance and you actually hit the targets. And the target can be lower on the days you're working versus the days you're not working, but not by such a large margin, because at the end of the day there is kind of your basic metabolic rate, which means you don't want to kind of completely go massively under that, because your body will use your muscle mass as a source. The body takes it when it needs it, and if you want to build muscle, then you have to add on this extra to the body to use. You will not be able to compensate from eating 4,000 calories on the days you're at home versus 1,000 calories on the day you're not.
Yeah.
But you can fluctuate with smaller kind of amounts. And the idea is for me to teach you also how you can incorporate things where you'll find it a lot easier to hit your target throughout the days you're actually planning. So some ideas. But yeah, people make the mistake of not planning. I think that's the best way to put it. If you, and that's where I can help a lot, because people don't know what to do, so they just go along with the day as it goes. Well, I don't have time to eat for 8 hours in the day, so I'm just not gonna eat, or I'm just gonna have coffee and biscuits, and that's gonna keep me going.
Or eat at ridiculous times. I know for myself, when I'd come home from work, I'd end up eating at nearly midnight. I'd try and have some proper meal, or not even a proper meal. I'd end up having something really bad, like cheesy chips, which is atrocious. I know you're probably thinking, oh, how could he have something like that? But for me, it was kind of a really bad case of like, oh, well, if I'm hungry, I'll just eat something. And myself probably like victims of everyone else. It's very easy that if someone just sees a snack, you don't even think about, oh, no, that's not good for me. And I guess I'm kind of a victim of eating a lot of crisps and a lot of biscuits and stuff. And as Joe sort of had said to me when I had my session with him, he said I'm kind of what's called like a skinny fat person. That I'm not as big as a whale, but I am kind of, I have got a lot of fat, and that's just through improper eating, or not balancing out my diet in the correct kind of way. I'd imagine it's probably been a lot more carbs than actual protein or a lot of fiber or anything like that. But if anything, it's probably worth me saying though that yeah, when you mentioned about with the metabolism, I actually do have a very high metabolism.
Yeah.
And growing up, and even Joe will actually say, because I actually grew up with Joe, when I was younger, I was very underweight. So by the time I was about 18, I think I was only weighing about 7 stone, which is very, very underweight. So I mean, I was very skinny.
Yeah.
And then once I'd actually gone to uni, I started actually bulking up a little bit because I started having like protein bulk shakes, or I don't know what the name is.
Yeah.
You know, and eventually I finally started putting some proper weight on, and I started actually finding my love for food that little bit more. The only thing though is it wasn't really the right kind of foods, you know, so it'd be a lot of like pizzas or pastas and stuff like that, which I know tends to kind of be a bit of a big no-no really when it comes to that, or at least eating them at the right kind of times. So for me at the moment now, I weigh just kind of over 10 stone, which is, I think, what was it, Joe, like 63.5 kilograms, was it? Yeah. So, you know, so for me, you know, it's quite an achievement to kind of be at that weight, but I've always kind of still felt that I am quite a skinny person. You know, I'm not the tallest of people either. I'm only about 5'7". You know, so what would kind of be considered the right kind of weight for someone of my build, or you know, or with the kind of plan that you'll give me with the nutrition thing? Because ideally, guys, if we're not, because you know, if you want to really get the coaching, then ideally you want to actually go to Teodora for help. I don't want to give away her services for free. You know, she's quite happy to give the odd bit of advice, but you know, ultimately, same with Joe as well. You know, if you want real coaching and real training, you really want to make a difference, then you've got to go to them for help.